Good afternoon. You're watching All Angles on ENCA. I'm Heidi Jakos. Now we continue with our rolling coverage of the Reed Dance. Thousands of maidens are gathering at this year's Reed Dance. The ceremony at Enyokeni Royal Palace in kwaNongoma is to prepare girls for womanhood. Our senior reporter Sipamandla Goge is on the ground and joins us now for the latest. We'll also be joined by Ngobile Madlala as well. Sipamandla, we just saw a few minutes ago that the king has indeed arrived. Tell us what's happening.
Indeed, he will leave the house any minute from now to go to the other side of the kraal, where he will basically receive the first reed. Izitombi have been presenting their reeds here, but the symbolic one that will be accepted by the king, that is the most symbolic one. So he is being briefed inside the house. Too many security personnel around here, police officers, private security, members of the national task forces. We see Prince Umkhosi Womhlanga, who is the king's cousin here, ensuring that everything is in order. He's walking up and down to try and ensure that when the king leaves, then the king will be able to go inside this passage which is behind me. I see some members of the royal family on the other side there, and Bonga Mkhize will just stay here with me and show you. We also see the king's son, by the way, Prince Chubizizwe, who is wearing red feathers there, the first one in terms of out of those four gentlemen that are standing there. Bonga Mkhize will show you that is King Misuzulu's son, is also here attending the Reed Dance ceremony. The king's cousin, Prince Umkhosi Womhlanga, is ensuring that the king will be leaving any minute. On the far side where I am, I see uNdlunkulu Kwabini there, the Queen Mother, Queen Mavis uMazungu. Ubonga Mkhize will show you those visuals of the Queen Mother uMazungu shortly, and she is accompanied by uNdlunkulu Ntombela, the second lady who's using the walking stick. So the first one is Queen Mother Mavis uMazungu Kwabini. She is the only surviving wife of King Goodwill Zwelithini's father, and that is King Beguzulu. And there is also uNdlunkulu Mantombela, who was married to the late Prince Twizeni, if I'm not mistaken, who was the regent when King Beguzulu, King Zwelithini's father, passed away. Prince Mtwaizeni was the regent, and his wife is also there. Those are senior members of AmaZulu royal family. The elders, they are basically here, and inside the house, the king is with senior male members of the family as we await the king here to leave. But I've spotted this gentleman, Ukhaya Ndwandwe. Ukhaya Ndwandwe is an author, historian, but most importantly, the Ndwandwes are the ones who basically in isiZulu are called abanikazi besilo esebuzile. King Zwelithini's mother was Ndwandwe. Khajo siyabonga kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho. Usuku olukhulu namhlanje, umzukulu wenu uqhubeka la kwagcine khona uyise iNgonyama uZwelithini kaBhekuzulu njengosomlando nombhali, but most importantly someone olaziyo leli siko. Kusho ukuthini lokho kwenzeka kwaZulu ngalomkhosi womhlanga? Yini umhlanga ubaluleke ngani? Kungani amaZulu kufanele aqekelele ukuthi ayawuvikela lo mkhosi?
Angibonge, ngibingelele, ngiphinde ngikhuleke nasesilweni. Siyabonga nje singogogo ukuthi kuyaqhubeka, umzukulu wethu uyaqhubeka, simfisela ukubusa futhi aqhubekele phambili. Umkhosi womhlanga kusemqoka mfowethu, ngoba iwona lapha abantu besifazane ibona abaphethe imbewu. So ke ngoba ukhona nje ke lo mkhosi ibona abantu abaligugu lesizwe, ngoba bona abantu abagcina imbewu. Yini khetha umhlanga na? Umhlanga nangephutha awukukhuleki. So ke umhlanga ushiya ithemba kubantu bakwaZulu. Ubukhona balomkhosi buvuselela ithemba, njengoba uyibona nje intombi zingangozulu emakheni ukuthi ithemba likaZulu lisekhona. Siyazi ukuthi zayijuju intombi iqala isilo siyinikeze namabutho, ngoba ukusondela kwazo kukhombisa khona ukuthi imbewu yakwaZulu isagcinekile, futhi abakabulahli nabo ubuZulu basayigqaja ukuthi bazi intombi zakwaZulu. Lokhu sibabona nje besuka eindaweni ezahlukahlukene beyikhandla beyigcinile bezintombi. Ukuyigcina ke mfoka gogo akusiyona into yamaZulu. NaseBhayibhelini uMaria wayeyintombi into ezozala inkosi uJesu, yinto esemqoka kakhulu kubantu besifazane. Yingakho ke sibona lo mkhosi uba impumelelo ngalolu hlobo. Sibonge ke nohulumeni ukuthi naye usondelile nezinduna lokhu iqhubekile nokwese kunomthebo wesizwe.
That is Umnumzana Ukhaya Ndwandwe, an author, historian, but also he is in Ndwandwe. The Ndwandwes are the ones who basically gave birth to umama wesilo esebuzile uKing Goodwill Zwelithini kaBhekuzulu. So they've got strong historical ties to AmaZulu royal family. As we see, uNdlunkulu Gwabini noNdlunkulu Ntombela, those are senior members of AmaZulu royal family. In terms of royal protocol, culture and practice, the fact that uNdlunkulu Gwabini and uNdlunkulu Ntombela are making their way to where the program will officially get underway, it tells you that after this, the king will leave any minute to go and perform the reed dance ceremony there. Niyaphila kodwa Ndlunkulu? Awu sivukile nathi. Izintombi sezifikile nazo. Yeah, siyabonga. uNdlunkulu Gwabini, the Queen Mother, basically one of the senior members of the royal family, saying intombi sezikhona, the maidens are here, and usemoyeni, and she's being flanked by senior members of AmaZulu royal family here who are making their way to where the official program will get underway. Let me tell you why it is significant, the fact that AmaZulu King Misuzulu Zwelithini is inside the palace as we speak. Of course, those who follow royal family issues and news will tell you that there have been tensions about what was going to happen here. There were those who were saying AmaZulu King will not enter this palace because the pretender to the throne, Princess Magade, is using this palace. But when, as we see, Prince Thulani mntwana ninjani besicela ukusikela ijikayo nje kodwa usangaphakathi. Okay, Prince Thulani saying he's still going inside there. We just wanted to get some feedback as to what will happen from here. Prince Thulani speaks for the royal family, and the fact that members of the family are going to where the official program will commence, it tells you that the king will leave at some point to go there. I was saying why it's important that the king is inside this palace. In terms of the ongoing royal dispute here, there have been talks about what is happening. Will the king enter here? There were even suggestions to move this Umkhosi Womhlanga, the reed dance ceremony, to kwaKhangela Mankengane Royal Palace due to security. I see here Queen Lamafu, one of the late king's wives here. Queen Lamafu is from Olundi, Ondini Royal Palace. She has arrived here in Ndlunkulu. She has arrived here, Queen Zola Lamafu from Ondini Royal Palace. She is one of the late king's wife. She's the mother to the current king, basically. She's been attending a number of royal ceremonies here to ensure that she supports what is happening. So in terms of family members that are arriving here, her arrival and her presence is significant because she is one of the senior members of the family, having been married to the late king and King Goodwill Zwelithini kaBhekuzulu there. So her arrival is significant. I was still saying that in terms of the dispute regarding the throne, even though King Misuzulu Zwelithini is firmly on the throne, but there are those, as we see, Prince Tami here. Prince Tami is one of the king's very close people in terms of loyalty and trust. He's the king's confidant. He is in conversation with Unhlanhla Mtaka. Unhlanhla Mtaka, having worked with the late king very well, King Goodwill Zwelithini kaBhekuzulu. So if you see Prince Tami and Prince Mthokozi Mahlobo, those are the two trusted loyalists of AmaZulu King Misuzulu Zwelithini, and Prince Thulani has just emerged from the Rondavel there. Let's just say mntwana ninjani kodwa sibukhoma kwaENCA. When are we getting under? Bengicela uthi kancane nje mntwana khona singezuveza lapha endlini la kunesilo khona. How far are we with starting with the official program? The king has arrived.
The king has arrived. We're waiting for the traditional prime minister just to be settled, an old man, before the king come. I'm going to prepare the old man now just to stay alert so that the king can be welcomed by the traditional prime minister.
Finally, this ceremony is underway amid confusion and controversy. Finally, thousands of maidens are here. The king is here. Some people were saying the king is not going to enter Enyokeni Royal Palace. He's inside.
In fact, there was no controversy. Only people who are distractors, they take chances and they do everything to intimidate the community. Now we can see nothing will happen, and nothing will happen until tomorrow.
Tight security, though.
The security is very tight. Even the Minister Pekicele himself is here with his eyes wide open to see. You can see the helicopter around to make sure that the security is tight.
Is it because of the threat in terms of the king's life or what?
No threat, nothing. It's only that we must make sure that there is safety. Whether threat or no threat, but safety is the priority.
Well, I think there will be some movement now. I see here Prince Umkhosi has alluded. I think the king will leave now. If Bonga Mkhize can stay with those visuals, the king will use another exit here. So I'm going to ask my colleague Bonga Mkhize to stay with the visuals here as we see senior princes leaving. And if we can just get closer, Bonga Simela, so that we get the proper shot of the king when he leaves. The ceremony will get underway. Prince Thulani telling us few moments ago that they were just waiting for AmaZulu traditional prime minister Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi to settle. I see izinduna that were inside there with the king. They include induna yaSosuthu, induna Khumalo. Induna Khumalo used to work very well with King Goodwill Zwelithini Kabhekuzulu. And when we are where we are kuthiwa kuSosuthu, I see the Prince Umkhosi Womhlanga is leaving the house. The king is leaving, going to start. We will use this other exit here as the king is making his way to officially commence with the start, or rather with the riddance ceremony, Umkhosi Womhlanga 2022, Enyokeni Royal Palace, as there were reports that this was going, yes, Uzala, now Uzovela Landaba, yes, the king will be here. So let us just give you the natural sound. Okay, we are going this side here to see AmaZulu King. No, sifuna ukuba la mfethu sishuthe kahle bathi asuke la. Sorry. Ningasondeli kakhulu. Cha, si right manini la. These are the light visuals here. AmaZulu King Mesuzulu Zwelithini is shaking hands with Police Minister General Pekicele. Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi is there. There is also Prince Thulani. I see Prince Zuzifa. Nongoma Mayor there, Albert Mnwango has also joined in here. And there's quite, let's just take a walk with Bonga Mkhize. I want to show you the visuals of those who are singing here. Listen to the natural sound. Okay, this is the first princess that will present the reed to the king. As you see, she is making her way to the king. The king will accept the reed from the princess here. The princess is also assisted by Prince Vanana of KwaNongoma. Let me just see if I can, I can't get through there, it's fine. But I just want to show you, Bonga is showing you the visuals of the first reed that will be presented presented to the king, Prince Vanana of kwaNongoma, ensuring that everything is in order. We will show you those visuals when the king accepts this first reed, and that will signal the start of the reed dance ceremony 2022. But listen to the natural sound here. Next to me is Imbongi Umkhosi, who is doing a praise singing here. Let me just give you natural sound from Imbongi as we see King Misuzulu going to accept the first reed here from the prince. So yeah, there you have it. That is the presentation of the reed to the king. Listen to the natural sound.
Umsoti dwase inkonyane encane kandaba esedidimibala umphikelelo wensizwa obephikelelwa amadoda akithi kaZulu esephelelwe ngamandla umaphokopela obengensizwa besinikanikana engabubende bezingelo bezingonyama osegijime ngendlela nje delile nina ningabona izinyane lesilo sikandaba ohlamba izandla lapha emakhanda amadoda athwele kumhlabanela bakwagcwala isifunda senkula semkhuze esinye ngesothukela nani magundwane ahlala esigotheni kwaNongoma gijimani ngaso zonke izindlela lobabikela abangakezwa nithi lukhululeza lwenyelela nilufanise nendlovu emnyama kasobhalule inkonyane encane kandaba ekhwele phezu kwendlu bathoyisela
There's the salutation after the presentation of the reed to the king there. So his Dombe will continue to present their reeds to the king here. The king will go back and join the king will join others. Besicela usibulele kancane nje, besicela usibulele kancane mashoba. Basically, that is the king. Behind the king is Mayor of Zululand District, Chula Sizwe. The king is talking to Prince Tutuga. Prince Tutuga is one of the senior members of the Zulu royal family, and he has just greeted the king, and as the king is flanked by senior members of the royal family there, and Police Minister General Pegitele is also there, and Prince okay, what will be happening is Ntombi will be using this to make their way as the king has accepted the reed. Now let's see the king talking to some of the people who are here as the guests of the king, who have come to show their respect here. And so let's just see. Sorry. Let's see senior members of the royal family. I'm going to
don't come back. Guys, don't come back.
No, don't come back. You just want to film the side.
Yeah, you walk from here.
It is Bonga Mkhize is going to work with me. I want to show you here. I just want Bonga Mkhize to show you here in front of me. Lamafu from Ondeni, and there is Queen Omandlovu from Ulindu Zulu. Two of King Goodwill Zwelithini's wives are Queen Lamafu from Ondeni Royal Palace and Queen Mandlovu from Ulindu Zulu Royal Palace. Next to them is Queen Mother Ukwabini Umazungu Mavis. Queen Mavis was married to King Goodwill Zwelithini's father, King Beguzulu. So just a second, yes. And next to Queen Mother is Queen Umantombela, who was married to Prince Mtwaizeni, who was the acting regent when King King Bhekuzulu passed away. So next to Queen Mantombela is the acting premier of KwaZulu Natal, and that is uNomagugu Simelane. What is significant about the two queens of the late king being here is that for a very long time there have been concerns, as we see the king's brothers here, Prince Bambindlovu, no Prince Simingaye arriving here. They are the brothers, they are King Misuzulu's brothers. I was explaining why it's important to show you that uNdlunkulu waSondeni, uLamafu, noNdlunkulu wakaLinda uZulu, uMandlovu are here because they are the mothers of King Misuzulu. They are the wives. Okay. I think we need to move here because the maidens will be making their way here, passing here, and okay. Now we are showing you these live visuals of
sorry, let's start moving, please.
Okay, I think right now what we will do is because security and everyone is pushing the media away, but while we are on that, look at the security, the amount of security. Bongam Kizet will just show you what is happening there in terms of the security. Look at the members of the National Task Force who are here. They are next to the king's brothers there, and they are protecting the king, basically. I think what we'll have to do for now is that allow us to stand down and control this, because it seems as if we are. But book up behind you, my brother. My brother, book up behind you. What are you not? I need to fetch them. No. It appears as if there is no plan here to accommodate those that are here in terms of some would want to take pictures. But of course, we understand too many people are here. Let me give you natural sound of his intombi there. The police commissioner there, General Fani Masemula, talking to the king, the General Fani Masemula. Unfortunately, because of the way we've been cordoned off here, we will not be able to show you those visuals of what is happening there. But I see Police Minister General Pegitele having introduced the police commissioner, General Fani Masemula, to the king, and then General Fani Masemula has greeted the king, and the presence of the National Police Commissioner and Police Minister tells you that security is tight, and it tells you that there were concerns about the tight security and the security situation related to the king. What prompted that was simply because there were those who were vowing that AmaZulu King, Misuzulu Kazwelithini, will not enter Enyokeni Royal Palace simply because this palace is occupied by Prince Smagade, the pretender to the throne, who has signaled an intention and the notice to file in terms of filing court papers challenging President Ramaphosa's decision to recognize King Misuzulu. Besicela nje ukuzivulela kancane nje nabenkosi shoot. Prince Smagade signaled that he wants to challenge and contest King Misuzulu's recognition, also contesting the meeting that nominated King Misuzulu, and also wanting to basically challenge the ceremony of the entering of the Kral ceremony, which was performed on the 20th of August by AmaZulu King Misuzulu Kazwelithini. Traditionally and culturally, many people say that was the official coronation, and Princess Magade is challenging three things here: the recognition of King Misuzulu by President Ramaphosa, the royal family meeting that nominated King Misuzulu, and the entering of the crown ceremony of the 20th of August, because they say that's when AmaZulu King Misuzulu Kazwelithini became the king of AmaZulu. So Princess Makade wants the recognition of King Misuzulu by President Cyril Ramaphosa set aside. One of the notable omissions, I'm not sure here, I'm subject to correction as I see members of the royal family there. I do not see Queen Umamchiza of Enyokeni Royal Palace. Let me put a disclaimer there that I'm subject to correction. It could be that she is here, but I've not spotted him. In terms of royal protocol, she should be seated next to Queen Lamafu of Ondeni and Queen Umandlovu of Ulinduzulu Royal Palace. So Queen Mamchiza, I have not spotted her seated with other queens of the late king. And why am I mentioning her? It's simply because this palace, she is the wife of the late king who occupies this palace, and many people were wondering whether she will attend the Reed dance ceremony that is happening at her own backyard. And for years, she has not missed it when her husband was still alive. I'm talking about King Goodwill Zwelithini Kapegu Zulu. So many people were saying she's one of those royal family members who are not supportive of King Misuzulu Kazwelithini. I do not know that for a fact, but her absence here, or should I say her not being seen with other queens here, will surely raise eyebrows, because this ceremony has been happening here since 1984. Ever since she has been part of the royal family, she has never missed the ceremony, as we see more and more visitors and guests of the king kneeling in front of him there, engaging with the king. But unfortunately, because of tight security, we will not be able to get close and show you the visuals of that, because security is very tight, and the media has. Let me see if we can come this side just to get the visuals of what is. Ngemva kwenu bafethu, ngemva kwenu cha besicela ukuthola isilo ngoba manje asiboni kahle mina benkosi. So yeah, basically that is what is happening there. Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi and the king there, and those are the guests of the king, and they are being introduced to Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi and the king. We see Sihlezi Kalala here, former who knows this royal house and family very well. Greeting uNhlanhla Mtaka. uSihlezi Kalala was the premier who tried to intervene and solve the impasse and the royal dispute, and some people within the Zulu royal family accused him of being part of the ongoing tension, an allegation that she or he has repeatedly denied rather. And I was still mentioning a number of dignitaries that are here next to the acting premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Nomagugu, who is sitting with Amanda Ban, and let me see what is happening there in terms of who is next to the king. I think Nqobile Madlala, my colleague, will be trying to go to Umntwana wakaPhindangene there, or Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. We are trying to get a comment from the prince. So let's see who Prince Vanana there is still negotiating with security, because Nqobile Madlala, my colleague, we've been facilitating and trying to ensure that she gets close to Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, who is the traditional prime minister, but Nhlanhla Mtaka there is trying to prevent that. So, and there are too many people who are giving orders here. It's so chaotic in a sense that I know for a fact that Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi has asked for my colleague Nqobile Madlala to come to him, but she's been prevented, of course, by people who are trying to keep security and protocol. It's interesting because Right now I see the mayor of kwaNongoma as well, there, Albert Mngwango, telling my colleague Ngobile and my camera colleague Tami Tamane, who wanted to get close to Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, that no, it will not happen. I know for a fact that they were making their way there because there was an agreement and Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi had signaled that they must come to him. But nonetheless, that is what is happening here. There are too many royal orders. Everyone is in charge, giving out orders, what to do, what not to do. We will just carry on with the job here as the maidens are here to give the reeds here. They drop off the reeds and then they just leave. I've spotted the chairperson of the Bayete Foundation, King Misuzulu Foundation. Let me try and let me hijack you. We are live on ENCA. You are the chairperson of King Misuzulu Foundation. Once the king is coronated, I know that he's already busy with his work. But moving forward, what will be the priority of the King's Foundation?
Umsebenzi omkhulu ozohlalela ingonyama ukuthuthukisa abantu bayo ngoba phela uyazi ukuthi abantu bahlukumezekile njengoba iCovid yahlukumeza abantu abaningi baphelele umsebenzi, so kakhulukazi ezolimo emakhaya kubalekile ukuthi kuthuthukiswe ezolimo emakhaya njengoba phela iCovid yenza abantu abaningi baphelelwa imisebenzi. So intsha imisebenzi eminingi iyoyithola ngayo phela ukuthi belime ngoba phela abantu abaningi bazi ukuthi isikhathi esiningi kufanele ukuthi uqashwe enkampanini ukuthi uthole umsebenzi, kanti imisebenzi singayenza khona emakhaya silime ukuthuthukisa namanzi ke ayinkinga kwaZulu Natal njoba i-drought so kubalekile ukuthi abantu engasemakhaya kube namanzi, so amabhoholi abaleke kakhulu. Sinenkinga kagesi ke, uyabona kubalekile futhi kwakhona ukuthi implement indaba hamba ube khona, uyahamba ube khona, uyahamba ube khona, so inkinga enkulu leyo for amabhizinisi. So amabhizinisi amaningi akhala ngalokho kakhulu.
I see here thousands of maidens, and I know the late king was passionate about issues of education. Will the King's Foundation be taking the cue regarding the issue of education, and can we see a King Misuzulu bursary scheme?
Yebo, babugoke kumanje akithi ke sine King Misuzulu scholarship. So kulonyaka nje kuthathwe abantwana abayihlanu abathole iKing Misuzulu scholarship. I-scholarship sethu ke sinika abantwana abayihlanu abathola i-scholarship from standard 6 up to matric we partnership ne-Star College ngobe ongangezwe lakhe upromota kakhulu lento yokubambisana kwamabhizinisi no government ne private sector. So ke kulonyaka si-issuishe amabhasari ayihlanu for ingane ezihlanu for 2023 admission. So kusho ukuthi ke ngenhlanhla ngo-2023 we might also have abantwana balako 15 abesifazane kuma-bursaries, because njoba iy'ngane ziyiphatha kahle emhlangeni, so kubalekile ukuthi ekugcineni abantwana kube khona into ezoba empowerisha. Ingakho ke i-scholarship saba into ekuyona ingonyama epharisha kakhulu.
And one of the things that the modern or the current king will have to do is to ensure that he tries by all means to modernize this kingdom here. And I see we have an opening there. The shot of the king, Bongamkize, will show you that king talking to Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. We need to capitalize on such visuals because security is tight here. We hardly get an opportunity to get to see the king. Security in front of him. So if we get an opening, we'll show you those those visuals. While Bongamkhize stays with the visuals of the king, let's continue Ngomane la ukuthi. You were talking about how the king wants to modernize this kingdom, focusing on, issues of development, rural development in particular.
Yes, rural development ibaluleke kakhulu kabi sibiza ke ngolimi lwakuyi foundation ke sithi ama smart village. Ama village akwazi ukuthi ayimele ngobe ubona nje emadolobheni kumpintshene so abantu bese kunemjondolo okukhulu emadolobheni amakhulu ngoba awekho amathuba endaweni zasemakhaya. So ukuze kube nama smart village ke kuzosiza khona ukuthi kwehlise lento yokuminyana emadolobheni kube namathuba avulelekayo endaweni zasemakhaya. So ke ITC ibalekile access to internet kubaleke kakhulu nalokho,
especially since this rural community of kwaNongoma. I saw when we had kwaKhangela, the signal was jammed. Even here Enyokeni we are struggling. So the whole of Zululand, the king will have to look for investment to ensure that there is boosting of capacity in terms of connectivity.
Yebo kubaleke kakhulu kwawona amabhohole mangithi smart village concept ngolimi esisebenzisa ku King Mrs Foundation ukuthi angithi ibhohole phela kwayona esikhathi esiningi sebenzisa ugesi kodwa mawuzosebenzisa isola iyenza ukuthi ngisho ugesi ungekho ukwazi ukuthi ipump isebenze. So therefore kubalekile ukuthi kuthuthukiswe indawo semakhaya bese ezingeni elifana
Ngomane siyathokoza kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho. That is Mr. Mdletshe. He's the chairperson of King Misuzulu Foundation, saying, well, the king's vision will be and the priority will be the issue of rural development, education, and just modernizing the kingdom. Nobile Madlala, take it away, my sister.
Well, thank you very much, Goke. I'm now joined by one of the family members, and I'm going to let him introduce himself, of course. I mean, we can see this work that is happening here must be very hectic. I mean, there's a lot that goes into the planning. As someone who's in the family, as someone who has to work and be part of it, how do you feel about what's happening on the ground?
Kube umsebenzi ongelula lokuhamba ngonyama kuhamba indlovukazi lokho seyibambile so umsebenzi wamakhosi umsebenzi wesihlalo kakona umsebenzi olula nama complications amaningi dinga ukubekezela udinga amasu ukuze ukwazi ukufika kuleli zinga esesikona kulo manje.
Mangabe uqala lo msebenzi sizwile kuthiwa kunobuheqeheqe obungenza ukuthi umndeni ungahlangani kahle hle ungathi ngalesikhathi umndeni uhlangene
indlunkulu ihlezi ihlangene kodwa ke kuyenza kube khona ikhathi la ningaboni ngasolinye khona hayi ngoba kusuka uxabene kodwa kusuke kuukuthi mhlamba nibone ngasolinye ezintweni ezithile nezintweni ezimbala kodwa indlunkulu silapha esigodlweni ondlunkulu bengonyama endala bakhona abangomama bengonyama ekhona undlunkulu walapha ekhaya ukhona umsebenzi wengonyama uyaqhubeka umsebenzi wamakhosi uyaqhubeka nesizwe futhi lokhu kwaba khona umkhuhlane wasendlunkulu kwaba khona iCovid especially umkhosi womhlanga kube khona isikhathi la khona lo mkhosi ungenzeki so sibona ke isizwe nezintombi ziyimisele kwesekene ngonyama nokweseka umsebenzi wazo njengeintombi zesizwe ukuze zivuselele lelisiko umsebenzi wengonyama lenekhona ukuvuselela amasiko ukuze isiko lesizulu nobukhosi bakwazi ukubungafi kubonakala kumsebenzi uqhubha kahle lokhu sobambela kakhulu dadewethu.
Siyazi ukuthi indlovukazi this was very dear to her. Kuchaza ukuthini mangabe usubona kwenzeka?
Kakhulu indlovukazi kimi umalumekazi ibe nenhlahla futhi yangikhulisa isiko ke bekuyiyona nto eseqhulwini kuye wasifundisa lona sibikho nje sikwazi lesiqinile namhlanje ngithi kithi kube yifagugu kithi ngoba silapha esikhona nje siqinile nje asikhambile imfundiso zakhe owenkosi layelele khona sithakame njalo okamahlokohla simbonge nokuthi leli siko especially isiko leli lomhlanga isiko elivuselelwe uye ngesikhathi sakhe ebambisane nengonyama nabantwana abathile namakhosi asendlunkulu akhona nesizwe sonke namhlanje seliyisiko elaziwa umhlaba wonke kodwa ke sithi simile siqinile siyathokoza kakhulu emsebenzini indlovukazi yawenza.
Njengomuntu osebenzisana ekakhulukazi nesilo sizizwa kanjani nje ngalokho kwenzakalayo?
kuyithokozisa kakhulu iNgonyama ngoba kube indlela engelula kuyo especially la khona bowuzazi njengomntana enkosi bese kuthiwa namhlanje bayede kuwe umsebenzi wongelula ohambisana nentobeko nezimfundiso ezintsha nokuthi ke uzazi ukuthi iyazazi ukuthi ifuna ihlale esihlalweni samakhosi abe nomlando omuhle esizweni so kuwumsebenzi oqinile ke kuyo ekufanele ke siyibambise thina njengabantwana baseNdlunkulu njengami njengoba ngumzawayo nje lokhu sama siyimisile ngoba sihlonipha umsebenzi oyenziwa ngoba abamkhulu bethu abazalayo namakhosi ohlanga neNgonyama neNdlovukazi yambili
kodwa kumsebenzi omkhulu kakhulu
umsebenzi ongona umsebenzi wabantu abancane sibonga nje uNkulunkulu nezidalwa ukuthi usiqinisile ngoba inselelo zalendlela yasesihlalweni ziningi kakhulu kodwa ke ngomsa kaNkulunkulu nangezidalwa nakho konke insiza esikwazi ukuba nazo silapha esikhona namhlanje.
Siyabonga kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho. Well, you can hear there, he's just explaining to us how important this work is for the nation. He's saying that as part of the family, this has been very difficult, of course, knowing that this is the legacy that the Queen has left for the nation. But he's saying to us that it's very important for women also to have a rite of passage, to sort of understand those instilled skills as well as who they are and what they can do in this world. And this is what the Queen felt that this was very important. But he's saying also with regards to the family having some of those factions or that conflicts that was happening, he's saying it's not something that is rare. This is something that has happened in the past, but he's saying that it always comes back to the fact that they are family and they always work it out. So as you can see then, it is continuing behind me. You can see Izintombi still going past the king. But